So that white spruce there, that tall one, I'm going to take that down. It's kind of a nice tree, but not that nice of a tree, and it's mostly in the way of that T-deck. There's a T-deck that I have planned back there. It's a long one, and that tree is like just dead in line with that green back at the house. So I'm going to take it down. And I see I've got a groundhog hole in there. I've been chasing that groundhog. I kind of feel like Caddyshack. I don't think I've got him yet this year, but I see him out once in a while and he's eating well. I'm gonna dig into this root here and push that tree down and hopefully not damage that excavator that's not mine. That tree looks a lot larger when you get up to it with the machine, so we'll see if I can give it a push. The only thing I care about is the machine. It's not mine and I really don't want to fix it or buy a new one. I barely got that. That was kind of embarrassing. I was going to turn the camera off halfway through it thinking I can't even get this tree down with this machine, but it came out, it's gone, nice and open now. Looks a lot better now with the tree gone. I've pulled out a lot of the stuff that was just growing up in this area too. It's nice with the thumb on the bucket. You can almost pull like you're weeding a garden. It's just so gravelly here. It's not pretty, but might prune that back hard and keep that just as a bit of a accent piece. This is a beautiful little white spruce that I pruned up in that tree pruning video. Yeah, and then I think this is a pussy willow here that my wife said she wanted to keep, that I may accidentally dig out, or I may keep it. I don't know. I don't know how this stuff's growing, but there's not a lot of good soil here, so I'm going to now come in with the machine. It's not the biggest machine in the world, but I'm going to push with the blade and see if I can just soften this hill off. Keep a little mound here for these three things growing, and then try to take this whole hill off here. So that cleaned up pretty good. I think it looks quite good actually for a guy who doesn't know what he's doing. I'll take that. Way more open, way more bright. You can see the river from here now. Kind of prime real estate. I don't know, are you thinking what I'm thinking? Almost looks like another T-deck could go there. Such a nice little spot. I don't know, a little bit of elevation. Pop ourselves up here. We've got probably 70 yards to that tee over there and maybe a little 35, 40 yarder here. I don't know, could be. I don't know, I find these trees that are really worthless, but build everything around them and is sort of the backwards way to do it, but I don't know, I can't bulldoze these trees. Could maybe do a mulch bed here or something. I don't know how much work projects I want, but that could be one. Got the little white spruce here that looks good. And then we'll chop down this, I wasn't going to try to push this down. I could barely get that spruce tree down. So we'll get the chainsaw out for this and cut it down and clean up that stump, and it looks pretty good. So this is the pile of rock that we're left with. Earlier in the summer we had a big pile here. All the big rock was in here. I hired a guy to come and put it into a hill over by the house that kind of acts as a retaining wall. Shrub bed, you know, just a nice little landscape feature. It was basically a make work project to get rid of all this rock. It's nice to kind of have rock, but you have to do something with it. But this is what I'm left with. It's all the small stuff, the not so nice stuff. So I know it's a crime, I know it's a shame, but I'm going to bury a lot of this stuff in that hole over there. The bigger ones here I'm going to pull out. I can always tuck them in around here. I mean, there's rock everywhere here. So I'll drag them to the outside and they could stay there forever. So some of these small ones, you know, they're not good for anything. They're just in the way. You can't landscape around them. So these small ones will go into the hole in the ground that we're going to dig. So we've got a pretty big crater that I stole a lot of sand out of. We got the sand over here. It's ready to go. So that we'll use at the pond beach. And then this crater now gives me a little bit of room to throw some of that rock in. So this is the hole that we got the sand out of. Now it's full of rock. There's got to be like 6-7 feet of rock here. It's a little bit high. I don't know if I have enough of the poor quality fill to skim over the top. Just want to kind of do some mounds here behind the green. Not sure how it's going to look, but I just want to get a load of sand on here and let it settle in and pack in for the winter, and then deal with it next spring and do the final shape on it. But that's a lot of rock. These holes work well for putting away a lot of rock. I just don't know if it's going to settle over time, because there's a lot of you can see there's a lot of air void in there, a lot of cracks and holes. So I don't know how it's going to settle, but I'll skim coat it with some sand this here like this, and we'll see how it goes. So this is the second hole that we used to get rid of the rock. This took a lot of the remainder of the rock, so it's pretty much cleaned up over there, which is excellent. It's been a pile of rock here for 2 years, so nice to see it go. I'm just gonna sort of shuffle these around, and then this pile of, this is what came out of there. So it was always a low spot here. So I'm hoping when you do the math on the pile of rock plus the fill that came out, we can kind of just dress this up fairly flat. That'll be the plan. Didn't quite have enough fill, but it's pretty good. So standing here now, for the first time, it actually looks like I might be able to pull off this mini golf course. It's starting to look clean. It was so rough, there was so much that had to be done with just moving dirt and rock. That area is looking good now. We got to clean up some brush here from those trees that we took down. The pond is good, other than the water clarity is an issue from the runoff, which I'm working on. I got to get some grass around there because the water keeps pouring in the pond and turning it brown. But other than that, it's pretty much set up. I'm going to do this beach on the one end here once it dries up. We've got that hill softened with the excavator. The green over here we're going to start to build up, but it's now open and exposed and ready to go. This area here was always that mess with the pile of rock. It's now clean. If I can kind of back drag this a bit today, get rid of some of these weeds, trees, and rocks, I think it's actually going to look pretty good here setting up into the fall. I'll probably keep these trees here. They are not pretty trees. They're naturals for this area. Not award-winning or anything, but they're there. They're close enough to the green that they may create an issue for someone golfing, so it's kind of nice to maybe leave them here. This rock is rolling down the hill. You can kind of see it's just, there's limestone everywhere here, and I'm just going to kind of take what I have left here, move it back so that it's out of the way while I still have this excavator. And if I ever need a couple rocks for landscaping or for anything, they'll be over there and I can get at them. So that's today's project, kind of clean up this area, make it a little bit prettier. That was a lot of work, slow going with that many rocks, and not even the big ones, it's those smaller ones the size of a basketball. They're just really hard to work with. You got to pretty much move them out of the way too, because you can't get the ground level. Looks a lot better now, looks a lot bigger. We'll go take a closer look up top. There was quite a bit of rock in this hill, so I just took some of the bigger stuff and put it around here. It's certainly not an award-winning landscape job. Just got it out in that area. It's within arm's reach if I do need a piece. What do you think, another tee deck? It's so nice and open and clean here. This pile of rock's been here for 2 years. There's just so much rock here in the soil. Even the small ones drive you crazy when you're trying to level things off. I have so much respect for the people that do this every day with heavy equipment. Probably watching me saying that guy's a moron. Tried my best. It's really frustrating when you back drag and try to flatten an area. It's so relaxing when you're in softer soil and smooth soil and you're back dragging, it's all going flat. But here you go about 4 feet and you hit rocks everywhere. So bounce off them, it lifts the blade up. It's really frustrating trying to get this flat, but today I really just wanted to get the big rock gone, fill in some areas where it's 80% smooth, and then in the spring get a professional in here with a big dozer, and they can shape this hill a little bit, shape everything. It's just knocking off things on my list here. We finally have this area clean. Down by the green, we have some mounds of fill still there that I want to move around with the tractor and the skid steer. Try to get that green shaped in a little bit still this fall. We're not that late into the year where we can probably still get a few more weeks of good work here, but it's for the first time ever. I'm kind of you can't see the light at the end of the tunnel because there's way too much work here to do to try and make a golf course, but the shape, the rough shape is finally, taking shape, and you can see now far. There's no junk in the way, there's no trees, there's no weeds, there's no rocks, so it's starting to look big, starting to look open, and it's definitely inviting to start to think now how to get it to the next level. Thanks for watching. Definitely appreciate that. I will see you on the next one.